Yeah.
Ed, are you comfortable there?
I'm not sleeping. Honorary Mass. I
Well,
missed you today.
yeah, we'll catch up on it.
Yeah. I don't know what, I know Rory went, did some
Today.
sales training. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I have 5:30 on my computer clock. So as treasurer of the board, we will call the finance committee meeting to order for August. We'll go around and we'll introduce the participants. I'm Stu May, board treasurer.
Teddy
Susan Board,
Rowland board.
Susan Board, my board.
Ed Van Haley, board.
Eve McGee, board member.
George Mitchell, board member.
Georgie McNamara, staff.
Tom Holcomb, staff.
Brandon Smiley, staff.
Robin
Shannon
Meyer,
Maloney, Navarro, staff.
Ben Kistner, board member.
JD Bink, staff.
Kristen Yates, staff. Aaron Underwood, staff. Ashley Garrettson, staff.
Christy Wineland, visitor from Life Unlimited.
Very good.
Lauren Hall, Southeast Enterprises.
Cameron Berkeley, Southeast Enterprises.
Andrea Black, Life Unlimited.
Have we got everybody? Is Ben Kistner, has he introduced himself?
Yes.
He did.
Okay.
Deb Pryor.
I did. I'm here,
I was
Stu.
just giving him a hard time.
I'm here.
All right, I think we've got most everybody. I see a few that maybe haven't, but let's go ahead and get started with the finance committee so we can be done by 6 o'clock and go right into the board meeting. With that, I will turn it over to our esteemed financial guru, Tom Holcomb.
Right. I think I'm sharing. Do you see financial statements by any chance?
We do.
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes.
The balance sheet.
Okay. So, as always, thank you for your interest in ETOS financial statements. I don't think this is probably going to take the whole half hour, but it's been 2 months since we've been together on this. So thankfully, our operations are still very stable. So you're not going to see any eye-popping numbers, I don't think. We continue to have a strong liquidity position. At the end of July, we had a total of, what is that, about $12.4 million between the cash and segregated reserves. Over $21 million in total current assets. About 9.7 million in fixed assets, total of about 32 million in total assets. None of those components are huge fluctuations from the prior year. The biggest fluctuation is that our fixed assets are $1 million more than what they were this time last year. And that's primarily here on the renovations line. We're almost $2.7 million, which is about 900,000 more than what we had at this time last year. Almost half of that difference is the one project at Blue Valley, the exterior concrete and other ADA type improvements that we have made there. We actually paid the final bill. We paid the retention in August. So next month, we'll show you the financial statements that has that sort of, excuse me, sort of totaled out. Also, since that time last year, I looked this up to see some of the other big numbers there. We added a $245,000 HVAC unit in the 8511 Hillcrest building. We've done almost $180,000 worth of improvements to the parking lot at Southeast. So we've done a number of significant projects.
Tom, are we done with that BVI project?
Where the work is done. The last bill was paid in August.
Tom, I do have a question on the cash from 2022 to 2025. Am I right in thinking that's pretty much entirely because of the increases in taxes receivable? So the increase from 2022 to 2025, that roughly 2 million in cash, it looks like that might be entirely attributed to the estimated taxes receivable. Is that right?
The two numbers are unrelated.
Okay.
The estimated taxes receivable is money that still hasn't come in yet.
So then what's the big jump from 2022 to 2025 in cash?
In 2022, we were still kind of recovering from the COVID
Sure.
extra assistance that we were giving out. And that's really the explanation, is that since then we've had strong operations.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So then our liabilities, as you can see, have remained really steady. 1.8 million in each of the last 2 years. Our mortgage on the 8511 Hillcrest building is right at $875,000. So we continue to work on paying that down. So
Hey, if you could, Tom,
3%, Stu.
Pardon me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
Oh, I wasn't gonna ask you the rate. Why don't you pay that off? No, I'm just kidding. The note receivable from CDD,
Yes,
and I'm not questioning the note, but I saw on TV last night where they broke ground on a new building that will house 4 families or 4 individuals.
great.
And it was a neat looking concept, and I assume that's from the transaction we did with them, that they're now officially breaking ground.
Good.
I don't know if any of you all saw it. It was on like Channel 9 News last night.
I think they've been working on that with the capital campaign for quite a while. What we did was we gifted them the buildings that they were already using. So not funding for new buildings, but the ownership of the current buildings.
Right, but I thought they were going to sell those buildings in effect and use the proceeds to build new housing.
No, they have a 5-year obligation to inhabit those buildings and use them to serve people who have developmental disabilities because we put basically a restriction on that
Okay.
loan. And so if they were to sell those buildings, they'd have to come to you for permission.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's not totally out of possibility that they're using those buildings as collateral.
Could be.
But if so, they've managed to do that without our consent. And we don't own the buildings anymore, so that's fine with us. So we have just a little over $30 million in total fund balance. That's the equity. That is to say, the portion of our assets that's owned by the taxpayers and citizens of Jackson County, as opposed to the creditors. The next page of our financial statements is the capital budget. You'll see that we, by the end of July, had spent about 70% of our capital expenditure budget. So I consider that to be a good thing. We're getting the projects done and getting those sort of off the drawing board. So since the last time you've seen this, in the last 2 months, we have put in another new engine at DOT. That's why, let's see, that engine was a little over $11,000. So that's why this number is now 27,000. And we've actually spent more money on new engines and transmissions than we had budgeted for. But we're still in good shape in total there. Under renovations in June, we did another $57,000 in asphalt at Southeast. So that's included in this $130,000 number there. We did an automatic door opener at Ability KC. That's the almost $7,000 there. Let's see. Here in the 8511 Hillcrest line, just in the last 2 months, we put in that $245,000 HVAC unit. Anybody that wants to go up on the roof and look at it, you're welcome to do that. I'm probably not going with you though. We also did the accessibility at the employee entrance there, put in a new automated door opener there, and that was almost $8,000. So that's included in the 265. And in the 8508 Hillcrest line, in the last 2 months, we finished the bathroom remodel over there. And so almost 81,000 of this 93 is for the bathroom remodel that we just finished.
Hey, Tom, on the line above that, the DPI Independence, I know there's a project that's planned. Is there any progress on that one?
We have a couple of projects still on the board. For DPI Independence, we are discussing a significant parking lot improvement there. We're not sure if we're going to be able to get that bid and actually done in this year, but we're going to try if we can. As you know, if you have ever been there when it rains, the water runs toward the building instead of away from the building. We're going to fix that finally. I think there's another project we've got on the board somewhere. Where is that? Oh, at Ability KC, we are, I personally was on the roof earlier this week at Ability KC. They need to, basically, the building has a row of windows all the way around the very top of the wall. And they are situated such that when the rain and wind come at the same time, comes right in the building through the window gaps. So it appears the smartest solution, since those windows are letting in hardly any natural light anyway. Imagine climbing to the top of the building to clean those windows. That doesn't happen very often, as you can imagine. So since we're not letting in any natural light anyway, the solution appears to be to remove the windows and probably, although we're still looking at different options, probably build the wall up to the ceiling instead of having windows there. So again, we don't know if we're going to be able to do that this year or not. But those are the two big projects that are still kind of possibly on the horizon. The only other item in this actual column here that took place since the last time you've seen this financial statement is in the shop at DOT, they bought a new scan tool that helps them diagnose issues with mechanical problems, and that's the $3,000 there. Other questions on this statement? Okay.
No. I don't usually spend a lot of time on this. This is basically the operating statement comparing 2025 and 2024. It's the first 7 months of 2025 compared to the first 7 months of 2024. And as you can see, most lines, the revenue is very similar from year to year. We have the Section 5310 grant that we got for the new buses earlier this year, and that's what that $550,000 number is there. And on the gain loss, that $973,000 in last year was on the transfer of the CDD buildings. But what I did want to mention, it's maybe easier to look at the next financial statement because this shows what happened just in July. In July, DOT had their highest July ever for Medicaid billing.
And support coordination also had their highest July ever for Medicaid billing. So as you know, if you've been around these things for a while, if you ask me whether our numbers are good or bad, the answer is always, it depends. And what it almost always depends on is what you're using as a benchmark. And so if you use, let's look at the support coordination revenue, for instance. If you're using the budget as your benchmark, then you can see in July, we're $59,000 under budget. But if you use what we've done in the past, things look a little brighter. Now, I'm going to show you a graph because Teddy loves it when I graph things. And this graph, oh, it's special. Wait till you see this. All right. So this
It
is
tells me so much.
yes, yes. Well, I'm about to tell you what it tells you. So this is monthly support coordination billings. And if I showed you the bottom of this graph, you'd see that as you go left to right, it goes January through December. And each line represents a different year. All right. So this dark blue line right here is 2025. And in January, we were below the brown line, which is 2024. And in February, we were below it. And in March, we were below it. And in April, we were below it. And in May, we were below both it and 2023. And in June, we were still below 2023. But in July, we were above every other year for that monthly revenue.
Tom,
So
could you send that to us, please?
you bet, Ed.
Thank you.
I will do that. Robin, remind me that Ed needs the graph. And if you really want to geek out on this, there's a whole set of tables that feed into the graph too on this other tab. So you can look at those too. Anyway, thought you might love that graph. For the month of July, in total, our revenues were $48,000 under budget. But 49,000 under budget is what shows up on the 5310 grant line as just a timing issue. So everything else sort of nets out to match the budget. For the year, we're 506,000 over budget in revenues, and of that, 205,000 is the timing on the 5310 grant. So that's $300,000 of actual over budget operations on the revenue side. We're also $574,000 under budget on the expenditure side. And as you can see, almost every line item is under budget. All the positive numbers in this column are under budget. The residential line is the only big, that is to say, six-figure over budget item, and that has to do with our residential providers getting vehicles that we paid for up front, but the budget sort of catches up over time. So by the end of the year, that'll even out. So the only real operating area that's over budget is property. And there's a number of reasons why that's over budget, but they're the same reasons that I've told you about all the other months, right? Early in the year, we had a lot of snow removal costs. We've spent some money trying to improve our alarm monitoring situation. We've spent some money replacing a big electrical box at DOT. So we've done some improvements that got put in the operating budget. But
Tom, I got a question. I think you've explained this to me before. I'm sorry. What's in other revenue on this statement here?
other revenue on this statement is the refund we got from Blue Cross
Oh, okay. You're right.
because
Okay,
of our
sorry.
good claims history in the insurance year that ended November 30th of last year. But
Got it. I remember that. Thank you.
Yep. So if you're $500,000 favorable variance on the revenue side and almost 600,000 favorable on the expense side, that puts us about 1.1 million favorable for operations. That's our budget variance. About $1.1 million favorable. And we have our usual set of treasury notes, and one of which does mature the end of this month, and we have already arranged to replace that. The yield that's rolling off is 4.2%, and the replacement is about 3.9%, I think. So interest rates have been dropping some. We've got 4 minutes left. I had one more thing that I wanted to mention to you that is not really financial statement, directly financial statement related, but at different times we've talked about our reserve policy and how much we should have in reserves and that sort of thing. Because I have absolutely nothing else to do, I was reading our one of our contracts with DMH. This is the contract that allows us to bill Medicaid for transportation that we provide. And there is a provision in that contract that says the contractor shall maintain an economically healthy business model, including a line of credit or a cash reserve that will allow continued service delivery for a minimum of 180 days in the event of unforeseen circumstances. So this is the only place where I've ever seen anybody actually give guidance that's that clear and specific. So sort of working toward a 6 months operations in cash is probably not a bad goal or target for us. Just thought I'd mention that. And Stu, it is 5:57, and that's really all I've got.
I think if we had a motion to close this finance committee meeting, we probably could end it.
I so move.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say the same. Seeing no opposition, I think we can move on to the board meeting.
Great.
Thank you.
think we've got 2 minutes before we can start. Georgie, I guess everybody got the word out okay about the switch?
I certainly hope so. We do have a list of providers and stakeholders who have expressed interest in any updates about our board meetings. And Robin emailed that list of people that it had been moved to virtual. So I guess if people didn't get it, we don't know that until they tell us tomorrow. Tom, did anyone show up at the building?
That's good.
Do we put these? I know it's being recorded. Do we put this out there on our website someplace? Yeah.
Robin's saying yes. I meant to look, but I forgot. So. But it looks like we got a pretty good turnout here, so that's good. And I know all the board members got the notification, so that was good.
On the website under public, there is a section for meeting minutes and videos.
Okay.
So not quite yet 6 o'clock. See, Tom, you could have just talked longer. All right. My phone is saying 6 o'clock. So we'll call the meeting to order and we'll do our introduction of board first and then guests. I'm Teddy Rowland. I'm the board chair, and everybody jump in on there.
I'm Eve McGee, board member.
Susan Borgmeyer, board member.
Ben Kistner, board vice chair.
Stu May, treasurer board. Oh.
George Mitchell, board member.
Deborah Pryor, board member.
Ed? You're muted.
Georgie McNamara, staff.
Tom Holcomb, staff.
Brandon Smiley, staff.
Shannon Maloney, Navarro, staff.
JD Bink, staff.
Tracy Mock, staff. Kristen Yates, staff. Jillian Braun, staff.
Erin Underwood, staff.
Ashley Garrettson, staff.
Robin Meyer, staff.
And our guests?
Andrea Black with Life Unlimited.
Cameron Berkeley with Southeast Enterprises.
Lauren Hall, Southeast Enterprises.
Kelly McGillis, TNC Community.
Brian Hogan, Blue Valley.
Ed Van Haley, unmuted.
All right. Did we get everybody?
It looks like Nick joined us.
Oh, good. Okay. Nick?
I'm here. Thank you.
There you go. Yay. All right. Awesome. We appreciate everybody pivoting at the last minute and getting online. We appreciate that. Some glitches, but we're getting it done so we can get our board meeting in. Thank you. Thank you to the staff for getting the word out and taking care of a slightly emergency situation, although everything's fine, so that's a good thing. So we'll turn it over to Dr. McGee. I'm trying to find you on my screen for the report, for the secretary's report.
Okay, Robin sent out the July meeting minutes. Are there any corrections?
I think they're June. We didn't meet in July.
Oh, yes, thank you, June. Are there any corrections to the June meeting minutes? Alrighty, I propose we accept the June meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone. And then we'll turn it over to Stu for the treasurers. You're muted. Stu, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. We just concluded the finance committee meeting for August and our financial statements look good. We're sitting in a good position right now. We just need to keep watching our expenses and get more money out to our service providers.
Right, thank you. So we were supposed to have a funded provider presentation with Rebecca Case from Developing Potential, but she had to cancel. I believe there was an illness, which kind of worked out since we're online. And we'll get her scheduled, Georgie, right, at a future date?
Yes, but while we're still on the subject of funded providers, I think Tracy has an update.
Okay, go Tracy.
Hello, thank you. Last week, Susan asked a question, and I wanted to kind of fill in the board and Susan about what I learned. But I first thought I would explain kind of how we gather information from funded providers and what kind of that looks like. We have 3 sources for information. Our billing comes through each month, so we see who is served and how often they're served. Then we have a quarterly report that is written by an agency. They submit that to the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation. And then our third source is a meeting that we hold. And that's done with the agency relations person that's assigned to the agency. They take all that information and sum it up into a small report. I asked for it to be sort of succinct. And so they're usually telling me about the outcomes that are achieved or not achieved, the number of people served. And then for the most part, usually positive things, occasionally an agency struggling, and we might talk about that too. In this case, Susan had asked about Hume and a comment that was summarized. So that came actually from a quarterly meeting that was held with Alex, and unfortunately, it appears from what we're learning, there was some links that were disconnected on the DESE website that had to do with translated documents for Spanish-speaking families. And I don't think it was anything nefarious or negative. Usually what I find is DMH has the same issues. They'll have a linked document, it gets moved or something gets changed on it. And then we get what's called a 404 code, just meaning that the link is gone. In this case, that's what happened. They had some families that couldn't find the document that they were used to finding. And so we use the word all, which is not what they intended and also not what Alex intended. But it did cause confusion. It seemed that we were saying something negative about DESE, and we just want to make sure that we cleared that up. And then for the side of Hume, we wanted to apologize because we felt really terrible. What we were trying to do is convey how fantastic they're being with taking information for Spanish-speaking families. They're not only translating it, they're creating this little Google site that's going to be there for families. They're taking information and making it simpler and easier to understand. And we're just proud of that. So we were proud. We probably got a little overzealous with the word all, and I apologize for that. But if you want to look into a little bit more about what Hume is doing, we have a blog on our website, and they are the ones that were highlighted this last time, and it just got posted today. So it'll tell you a little bit about what they're doing with school districts and some of this stuff that they're translating, which is really, it's all very positive. So I apologize for the miscommunication and the confusion it caused for Susan. So
Thanks, Tracy.
Sure.
Thank you, Tracy. Does anybody have any questions for Tracy on that or Georgie? All right, if not, we'll move on to Georgie with your report.
I sent that out. I hope you all got that. It looks like some formatting stuff is off on the version I got, but any questions?
Yeah, I've got one.
Mhm.
Why did Mac DDS ask you not to discuss county taxes in the meeting?
It was actually the legislative advocate that MacDDS employs, and she, in all the other parts of the state, they want us to. In Jackson County, the issues are really very, very different. And what she was afraid of was that we were going to get targeted, that either sometimes in situations like that, and those of you who might have testified in hearings before will know that sometimes they can get really acrimonious. And she just felt like in Jackson County, our issues are so different than they are anywhere else in the state that we probably just need to lay low right now.
Okay.
But what she did suggest was that we work on one-on-one relationships. So we have a legislative advocacy work group, and we're going to do some visits while they're home in the district this fall, and then in Jeff City in the spring.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Georgie?
No, I applaud Brandon's efforts. He's done an amazing job. The comments about internal leadership, that's great, Brandon. Thank you.
I was a little surprised, pleasantly surprised, Brandon, when you were talking, I think it was earlier this week or last week when we had the quarterly review, but you were talking about expanding our transportation services, or looking at that anyway. And I commend you for that. There's a need there outside of the normal 8 to 5, where people need to move from point A to point B. And if we can do that, I'm all for it.
That's a huge focus of this current strategic plan plus the next one, and that's based on feedback from, I mean, overwhelmingly. We remember when we had that meeting and we put little dots next to stuff.
Yes.
The staff did something similar with comments, not with dots, but we took all the comments we got from surveys, from stakeholders, from support coordinators, from board members, from everybody, and it was probably 5 to 1 expanding transportation options as people's priority.
Excellent work, Brandon.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Yay, I see applause going up. Okay, then we'll just move right into new business. Georgie, there was a request and we need to vote on something with Life Unlimited and their vehicle.
I almost started talking with my mute on. So in our funding cycle last year, Life Unlimited was awarded $100,000 to buy an accessible vehicle to use with people that they support here in Jackson County, to get them back and forth from home to day programs. As you already know, we just talked about it. Our transportation program is just not meeting the need for everybody. And we think this is a great way to try to help out. Anyway, they were able to find a really high quality used vehicle for less money than what we had, or that you had approved for them. And they really need more than one. So they were hoping that you would let them keep the rest of the money so that they could apply it toward the purchase of a second vehicle. We have representatives here from Life Unlimited tonight if you'd like to ask any questions of them.
Okay, who's Life Unlimited? I'm sorry, Christy. It's here. Is there any questions? Go ahead, Christy. Anybody else?
Yes, so we have Andrea here as well as Ryan.
There you.
Ryan,
Ryan's on too. He did the purchasing of the vans. He was able to find 2 great vans. So we have a new day program that we've opened. So that's where the vans are, and we're getting out people out in the community. So it would be great to be able to use that money towards the second van. And it is a wheelchair accessible van.
So Georgie, it was 100,000 and they were able to find one for how much is extra?
Let me pull that up again. I just closed my board report.
It was roughly 65,000, I think, is what the first one was.
65, yep, 65.9.
Thank you.
Right. So you're asking to put the extra
34
toward the purchase of a second vehicle.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so then we would need a motion, a second, and any more discussion.
I move we take the excess and give it to them to purchase the other two vans. Help in purchasing the other two vans.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Deb. All right, is there any discussion? So the motion is to apply roughly, tell me again.
$34,100.
Thank you. Toward the purchase of a second vehicle for Life Unlimited, which still keeps them within their budget allocation for this year.
And can they find a vehicle for that?
They already have.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Right, any questions or other comments?
And the 34-1 doesn't pay for the whole thing, right?
No, it's just half of it. Yeah,
That helps.
that helps.
And your new day program, where is that located? Is it Blue Spring?
Yes, yes, sir. We also have one in Lee Summit, too.
All right, any other questions or comments? I'm not hearing any, seeing anybody. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 And those opposed, say nay. I believe the ayes have it. So there you go. Andrea, you guys can offset that cost.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay. My dogs are going wild. I hope you don't hear them. Georgie, Brandon, you have the Title VI approval and vote by the boards, the next item.
Yeah, so just really quickly, this is something that the board has approved a few years back, and it's time for a new approval. So what this is basically it's our Title VI program that basically keeps us in compliance with all things that are committed, our commitment to equity, fairness, and inclusion in all of our services that we provide. The actual program that I've provided you guys with in your documents is really similar to the last approved program that we have. The only difference is we went in and there were little updates or tweaks that was needed to like geographical information, things like that. But yeah, we're just seeking approval for updating our program, and so we can get that squared away and make sure that we're staying compliant.
I have a question, Brandon. Who is the Title VI coordinator? Is that you?
No, so right now, who fields most of our Title VI complaints is Kristen Yates.
Okay, Kristen Yates. Okay. I have another question. When I was looking at the geographic area and reading, I know that all of our clients or people have to be in Jackson County. But as I was reading it, I got the idea that the services also had to be provided in the county. But I think it seems to me that we have extended to take clients outside of the county for jobs and so forth. Am I wrong or what?
So no, our services are strictly Jackson County.
Jackson County, okay. Okay, so we don't go out
Yeah,
to, okay. That's what I.
Yeah, we stay within Jackson County.
Okay.
Do we don't take anybody to Farmer's House?
Yeah, I think the schools are doing.
Okay. I know that we had talked about it and I just didn't follow up in my brain to remember if.
I think I remember it being most of the schools said they would provide their own transportation.
Okay, terrific.
So, and that's this is a transportation piece as far as.
Yeah, it's just the transportation. But didn't we get something that we could transport outside of Jackson County? We got permission, we got a special license, we did something so that.
We got a US dot number.
That's it. That's it. So that's a little confusing. We have that number, but we're really not supposed to take them out. Is that right? Am I correct?
It's not kinda. So it really depends on there's a few different variables actually that, with the dot number, we can travel outside of Jackson County, but then you start looking at the different funding structures and where funding and stuff allows travel. So technically you can, I guess. We tried, and I'm not sure how often, if we, if we can or we have. So that would be something I would have to follow up on.
Just it got me confused. I thought, okay, thanks.
I'll reread that too, Susan, to make sure that we're not out of compliance on anything, but I don't believe that we are.
Okay.
But Brandon and I will check.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? And this is Title VI, that's a federal
Yes.
requirement,
Yeah.
correct?
Yep. Yep.
For now.
For now. Just gonna say.
Never know.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second, please.
Oh, I'll move that we accept the Title VI program regulations, so forth.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion or questions? Seeing nothing, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 And anyone opposed? Okay, seeing none, I believe the motion passes. Okay, where everybody's good, we'll move on to discussion about the November board meeting date. Georgie.
Yeah, typically you guys have chosen to move the November meeting from the 4th Tuesday to the 3rd Tuesday, which this year would be November 18th versus November 25th. So just bringing that to your attention in case you wanted to do that again. It's completely up to you guys. And then if you did move it up, that would put it back to back with a committee meeting. So what you chose to do last year was to have the committee, the staff email you their committee reports in advance, and then had an agenda item to discuss any questions you might have on those reports or anything you wanted to talk about. So I'm throwing that out there for you.
I'm in favor of moving it up a week.
Yes, tell me again what that date is, Georgie. I'm looking at my calendar.
So it would be November 18th rather than November 25th. And then that puts it back to back with a November 19th committee meeting.
Okay, so the proposal is to cancel the committee meeting, have the board meeting on the 18th, and cancel the previously scheduled quarterly meeting on the 19th. We'll just get that by report only, and people will be available to answer questions at the board meeting. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion?
I'll move exactly what Patty said.
I move that we move our board meeting from November 25th to November 18th, and that we cancel the quarterly property meeting on the 19th. And we will review that on the 18th, the reports.
Okay, that sounds good. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor.
We need a second, Teddy. We need a second. I'll second that.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Okay, all those in favor of moving the board meeting up a week and canceling the quarterlies, please say aye.
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 And those opposed? All right, seeing none, it looks like that meeting will get changed. We got that approved there. Okay, and then that moves us right into old business. Is there any old business?
I don't know if this is old business or not, but I direct it to you, Tracy. How are we doing on the funding cycle? Did people get their request in?
I guess they did. We got 67 different services that they've asked us to fund. So we will see how that goes. So far for board members, I have Ed and Susan down. Is there anybody else that was interested in serving on that committee?
I'll be a part of it, Tracy.
I
Sorry.
haven't scared you away.
No, sorry.
I felt like
Thank
I
you.
scared most people away except Ed and Susan. All right, perfect.
I'll join as well. Now that I have the dates, I'll put that on my calendar. So I want to join the party.
Fantastic.
That is
Great.
awesome. Thank you. Anybody
Thank you.
else? That's great.
You still have time if you want to look at the dates and think about it and let us know. Please feel free to do that.
All right. Any other old business? Anything else to discuss? All right. And anybody have anything else? We didn't really have any public comment that was received, but we're open to hearing something. Somebody has something to say? I'm not seeing any hands. I'm trying to look around my camera. All right. It looks like then we're ready for a motion to adjourn, guys. Our next meeting will be in September, and my understanding is that will be picture day. Is that correct?
Pending any more gas leaks, I think that's right.
Yeah. So reschedule picture day. Everybody be ready with your best. And is there a motion to adjourn?
I still move.
In a second.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right. Anybody that wants to stay on, stay on. We'll see you next month. Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone.
Bye.